Let's start with a crazy fact. Did you know that if you fail the Utah notary exam and wait past 30 days to retake it, you get hit with a major penalty? Yeah, you actually have to pay the full $95 application fee all over again. If you miss that strict 30-day window, you're literally resetting the financial clock. So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the entire process of how to become a commissioned notary public in the great state of Utah. If you're looking for a career path that provides a completely essential public service for legal, financial, and real estate transactions, well, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, so the magic number you need to kickstart your career, it's 61. That is the exact passing score you need out of a possible 65 points on the mandatory state exam. The test itself is 35 multiple choice questions, but here's the catch. 10 of those are heavily weighted fundamental questions, worth 4 points each. They do this to make absolutely sure you grasp basic notary law. The rest are worth 1 point. You've got to hit that 61 to move forward, which is exactly why getting prepared is so vital.
Here is our roadmap for today. The Utah Notary Roll, meeting eligibility requirements, passing the notary exam, securing bond and oath, essential equipment and renewal, and practical tips and conclusion.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the Utah Notary Roll. So why does Utah take this process so seriously? Because as a notary, you aren't just blindly stamping pieces of paper. You actually become a frontline public safeguard. You're an official commissioned directly by the Office of the Utah Lieutenant Governor. Your main job is to act as an impartial ministerial officer to prevent identity theft and forgery. You do this by physically verifying the identity of document signers, witnessing their signatures, administering oaths, and sometimes certifying copies of non-public records. Honestly, it's a position of incredibly high trust and absolute integrity. Moving right along to Section 2, meeting eligibility requirements. Before you can protect the public, you need to check a few boxes. You have to be at least 18 years old, a U.S. citizen or permanent legal resident, and you must be able to read, write, and understand English, which, let's be real, makes perfect sense given the complex legal documents you'll be handling. You also have to be completely free of any disqualifying criminal offenses involving dishonesty. But here's a super interesting fact. Even non-residents can apply. Yeah, as long as you've had a primary place of employment right there in Utah for at least 30 days before applying, you totally qualify to step up.
All right, Section 3, passing the notary exam.
Assuming you meet all those eligibility requirements, the whole process happens online at notary.utah.gov. First up, you'll create an account using the exact legal name you plan to use on your official stamp. Next, you tackle that 35-question online exam we talked about. The best part? The results are instant. Once you hit that score of 61 or higher, you pay a $95 non-refundable fee. Finally, you digitally sign a waiver authorizing a mandatory criminal background check. This gets routed to the state and happens silently behind the scenes while you move on to the next steps. Which brings us to Section 4, securing bond and oath. Utah mandates that you go out and purchase a $5,000 surety bond from an authorized insurance provider. Now don't worry, this usually only costs around $50 for a standard 4-year term. But it is absolutely crucial to understand this point right here. This bond does not protect you. It's there to legally protect the public from financial harm if you happen to make a mistake or commit an act of negligence. Oh, and fun fact, the start date of this bond actually becomes the official start date of your entire commission. Along with that bond, you have to sign the constitutional oath of office. You swear or affirm to defend the constitutions of both the U.S. and Utah and to discharge your duties with fidelity. But here is the really critical part. You have to sign this oath in the physical presence of a currently commissioned Utah notary, who will then notarize your signature. Once that's all wrapped up, you upload clear digital copies of both your signed bond and your notarized oath straight to the state's portal. Remember, Utah no longer accepts paper documents by mail for this, so the whole shebang goes online. Section 5, essential equipment and renewal. After the state reviews your docs, which usually takes a week or two, they'll email you your official certificate of authority. Now it's time to gear up. Beyond the fixed $95 state fee, you should expect to spend roughly $50 for your bond, about $30 for your custom stamp, and maybe $20 for a record-keeping journal. So all in all, you're looking at an investment of roughly $180 to $240 to get this business completely off the ground. You'll take that certificate of authority to a third-party manufacturer to get your custom rectangular stamp made. Now, there are strict rules here. It can't be larger than 1 inch by 2.5 inches. And crucially, it absolutely must use purple ink, no exceptions. It has to feature your name, your commission expiration date, the words Notary Public and State of Utah, and an exact replica of the 1896 Great Seal of Utah. A sharp, perfect impression is legally required every single time you stamp a document. Okay, let's talk about a really major update regarding your record-keeping journal. Historically, keeping a journal was highly recommended but technically optional in Utah. Well, that's changing. Under the new Senate Bill 139, if you receive a commission on or after May 6, 2026, keeping a journal becomes strictly mandatory. For traditional acts, it has to be a physical, chronologically bound journal with numbered pages. You have to keep this journal totally safe for 10 years after the last entry. And when that 10-year period is up, you are legally obligated to destroy it completely, like fully shred it, so the data can never be read again. While we're talking about equipment, let's briefly look at the difference between a traditional notary and a remote online notary, or RON. Utah totally allows remote online notarizations, but if you want to do this, you first need to have an active traditional commission. From there, you have to upgrade your surety bond from $5,000 to $10,000. You'll also need to sign on with a state-approved electronic tech vendor, get a digital signing certificate, and keep a secure electronic journal with audio-visual recordings of your remote acts. Oh, and there is an extra $50 application fee to the state for that specific certification. And finally, Section 6, Practical Tips and Conclusion. So you're fully equipped. Let's talk about the day-to-day. In Utah, you can only charge a maximum of $10 per signature for a traditional in-person notarization, and you have to display that fee schedule clearly in English. For remote notarizations, that max bumps up to $25. Now, listen closely to this one. You absolutely cannot notarize your own signature or any document where you're named or stand to benefit financially. That is a massive conflict of interest. Finally, when your 4-year term is up, there is zero grace period. There's no magical renew button. You have to do this entire process all over again, from taking the exam to buying a new stamp, if you want to keep your status active. So you now know the costs, the strict purple ink rules, and what it takes to pass the state exam. But here is the real question to ask yourself. In our highly digital age where identity fraud just keeps evolving, are you ready to be the human line of defense that Utah's legal system completely relies on? It really is a fantastic way to serve your community and add a highly respected credential to your professional life. If you found this explainer helpful for navigating the Utah notary process, please hit subscribe, leave a like, and share it with anyone else looking to get commissioned. Drop a comment below with any questions, or let us know what topics you'd like to see covered next. And just as a quick final disclaimer, while we've covered the current guidelines comprehensively today, always make sure to verify any legal details directly with the Utah Lieutenant Governor's Office or legal professional, because state regulations can and do change over time. Thanks so much for learning with us today.